Greetings, everyone. I'm going to just give my 2 cents on the situation with Delano mom, and I'm going to just analyze a few things. I'm going to talk about how we, as persons who have the heart to give, are often caught up emotionally and we're not thinking logically. Listen, I want to big up Asafa Powell, who so far has been the only person who have showed up to show his support and use logics. When he went upon the scene, he said, I didn't bring anything. I'm coming here to see what they need. There is no point in me bringing something and he has 100 of that. Big up yourself, Asafa. You went there, you saw the need to assist a young man and his family, but you wanted to assist him in a way that doesn't just stop now, it helps him in the future. And I think that's what we need to do. We have had enough examples now to know that when we see these stories coming out of Jamaica, they're not rare. They're very common. And so when we approach the situation or when we go to assist, we must use wisdom. It's absolutely important that we must use wisdom. Now, what I want to say, and I want to make this very clear, poverty is not synonymous to dirty or unclean living. It's not. So, if you live in a one-bedroom house and your floor is dirt and you have to put cloth on your windows for window and door, you don't have to live in a dirty, cluttered environment. So there's a lot more going on than just poverty. And I think people are often responding to that sort of, hoarding situation that goes on with a lot of people who are poor. One of the reasons why people's environment is so cluttered and looks so messy is because when they lack just basic things in life, they tend not to want to let go anything, and the clutter stays there. The garbage builds up and create that environment where it's unsafe for people to live in. But we are responding to the clutter. We are responding to the hoarding. So if the family bought some salt, they don't throw away the box. That is a sign of them holding on to things that they don't need, that has no value because of what's going on in their life. The fact that they're so, poor. Now, when we talk about being poor, that's something we have to look at too, because many of us grew up with poverty, and a lot of us did not even realize we were poor until we might have gone from the environment where we live, or we might move to another city or another, parish in Jamaica. And when you look back, you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize we were poor. Poverty is not synonymous to mess. So when I look and see the clutter and I see the messy situation and I see that a day of cleaning up had to be arranged, it makes me now assess their mental health. I don't know them, don't know mom, don't know dad, don't know the son. The son, however, is an example of a person who will not allow his environment or his experience, his immediate experience, to stop him from dreaming and to work towards betterment. He also shows that poverty doesn't automatically create crime. It's a possibility, but it's not a trajectory that says this is a definite thing. Because you're poor, you have to become a criminal. So blessings to Delano for setting the example for all the other young people that are going through it, going through the same set of circumstances, to say you can still get out. Many of us were poor. I remember sleeping on a bed, a mattress that was made from crocus bag, we call it, stuffed with grass. When I left from where I come from, where I spent my childhood, we had no electricity, no running water. We had an outdoor toilet and we had an outside kitchen. And there are many people who cook on the 3 stones outside. They still don't know what it's like to turn on a stove. Now, I'm going to ask people to stop responding in such an emotional way. It's almost hypocritical to make it seem like one person not having a kitchen, and I'm not saying it's not needed, but one person not having a kitchen is something that should cause us to run out. And in our attempt to help people, we're not using critical thinking skills. We have to let go of the hypocrisy, because on one hand, most of us who live overseas, we gravitate to channels like YouTube channels with people who are cooking in the fields, cooking in the backyard, going in the woods, going by the river to cook on those 3 stones. We love it. Because of it, we want to go home. We miss home when we see this. These YouTube channel, for example, Colors TV or Sunrise Boss, people gravitate to these individuals because of their outdoor cooking. What we are considering as something for us to lose our mind and lose our head and respond in a way. And then later on, when the persons are not showing us gratitude or not showing like they're grateful, we get so angry because guess what? We were very emotional in our response. So we see the picture and we say, okay, all right, we got to do something for this kid and his family. But our response, in a way, is hurting them more than it helps them. We don't know them. We don't know Delano's mom, his dad, or himself. And when we respond emotionally and we try to provide them with all the things that we think they need, by 500 people turning up with barrels and barrels of food, and another 10 persons showing up with shoes, and people giving iPhone. First and foremost, this young man has achieved such excellence and he never had an iPhone, so why does he need one now? What he does need is gadgets that's going to allow him to excel, like a computer or an iPad or something like that. Now, I'm going to mention someone's name, and it's out of love. I'm not being disrespectful, but let's go back and look at Joseph. Joseph and Salone's situation was very similar to the situation that we're seeing. And that's what I'm talking about, how it's important for us to stop responding in this emotional way. Joseph was doing very well in school without gadget, without all the food and the comfort. And then there was an outpouring of love from myself and many others. And what happened? Not to say Joseph is not continuing his dreams, but the truth is, when you put such emphasis on giving somebody who did not have everything, you decide to give them everything overnight, what do you think you're doing? You're distracting these individuals. You're creating a dependency. And so let's go back to Delano's situation. Delano is an agricultural student. His dream and aspiration is to eventually work in the field of agriculture. Can I ask a question? If he knows the science of agriculture, because with everything, you have to do the theory. So therefore, we want to see the practice. Does Delano have a car tire with some dirt and a few callaloo seeds sown in there? Does he have a little patch with tomatoes? Because if he is an agriculture student, this is something that he could have done at home, because he definitely is very good at the theory and he would have to be good at the practice to, have the subject. So does he have a little patch planted with some vegetables that he could have sold to help himself? And what about the father? Do they have property? You don't need a lot of property. You can plant in car tires. You can plant in some pots. You can plant some pepper. These things sell. So there's something going on with dad. And because I don't know him, I don't want to say what it is. But there's something going on with dad. And yes, sometimes when you struggle and you're trying and you get up and you fall a million times and you get up after a while, if you're not careful, you will surrender. So I don't know if that's what's going on with the father. I just want to say that Delano's dad is not the only person who is struggling in Jamaica. And my thing is, when someone wins $50 million, when one person wins that large sum of money, I often said to myself, wouldn't it be awesome if 50 people got $1 million as opposed to one person? It's not that I'm coveting these individuals. It's just I'm saying share the wealth. Jamaica is a place where the wealth is not shared. There's no trickle-down effect. And we have to continue to live and watch the small group. And that is the situation in the world too. The small group having so much wealth control the means of production, and the large or the mass group of people go without. And so in our emotional response to this family, we will go out there, we start doing things. It's not the first time it's happened. It's happened on the other huge charity platform. I also want to say that I want Jamaican people to stop treating people who have the heart to give. Stop treating them with disrespect because their charity is not registered. Because oftentimes these registered charity, they're thieves. They get $1 million, nobody knows how it's spent. The only person in Jamaica who ever showed us, who was ever transparent, was Donegal. The only person. And there are very few persons who are in the game who are there to better other people. I also want to say to other people also who don't even give. They're not sharing anything with anybody. Why are you so obsessed with worrying about people getting something from a charity? If someone sees your plight and put it out there and garners fund to help you, why do you care? So what if these folks benefit? So what? As long as the people who are giving them money, which is the donors, are satisfied with the way they're spending the money, why are we getting so uptight? You have to stop it. If the young man Alec collected money on the behalf of the family and got a home and got, the opportunity for their life to change, so what if Delano got something too? I'm sorry, Alec. I am sure Alec has needs as well. So what? So what? So the people are not thinking. People showing up with phones, iPhones, and are alleged to have turned up with iPhone, or there's argument that they didn't receive it. Listen, use wisdom. Wisdom. We must go forward to help people using wisdom as our gateway. We must assist persons to help themselves and not create dependency. We must use wisdom to acknowledge that poverty is not synonymous to messy life or cluttered experience. We must understand when people are so poor, they don't know how to manage a large amount of money overnight. We must not cause people who in the harsh or the heights of their struggles still excel and then rush in and start to try to solve all their problems. You get them the immediate help of food and clothes and shelter, minimum, to get them out of that dire situation, and then encourage them to continue to do for themselves. So I do get it that people get very emotional when you see the graphic image of poverty. But I want us to get back into ourselves and understand that poverty doesn't mean that we have to then do for them that we can't even do for ourselves. Many of the people who are donating does not have an iPhone and would not seek to get one. Any phone they get to call is good enough just to make a call. Because you don't have an high-tech phone, it has nothing to do with suffering. You need a 3-bedroom home, that's sufficient. Because there's a boy, an older boy, there's a younger girl, and there's a parents. That's good. But the father have to be given something to do so he can maintain that. Because after you're done building the house, after you give them all the great gadgets, after you give them electricity, who's going to pay the bill? You're going to continue to pay the bill for them? Or would you want to do that to a young man who is progressive, who has ambition, who has drive, even though his circumstances was showing him something else? He was not content to accept that. You want to give that guy everything? What about the next one who's looking for a hand up? What about the woman who has all these children and she goes to work as a domestic servant, and when she comes home at the end of the day, she still can barely feed her children? If we are going to love one family who's going through it, we have to be prepared to support others that's living in it and through it. And we have to stop being emotional and stop making it seem like this family is more deserving. They need our help. They needed our assistance. Don't get me wrong. But be smart about it. One of the problems we're having in Jamaica with our young people is that we're not teaching them to be resourceful. We're not teaching them, listen, stand up on your feet. Put your shoulder back. Put your shoulder to the wheel. Do the work to get you out of this situation. In Delano's case, he did that. And we want to continue to encourage him to do that, to grow up to be a wonderful man. And not to babysit him and cajole him and start introducing him to things so that he doesn't know what it's like to thrive. To go out and get his own. We see that when we run out and we do all these things, we then get very angry when the people are not doing what we think they're supposed to do. After they have the house and the phones and the cars and the house full of food, what about their mental health? How many people are trying to get assistance for the mom and the dad and the son and the daughter to talk about the situation that they're in and how they and what they need to move forward? We have to stop sending the message to young people and healthy, strong people that we want to come and take care of all their needs. There's something about working for yours. There's something about achieving certain goals by the strength of your own hands. There's something about feeling like a man who has the ability to care for his family. And if you're a man and your desire is not to go out there and take care of your own family, something is wrong with that situation. So the man should not be comfortable in having the whole world take care of his needs or the needs of his family, but he can use our support. We have to stop sending the message to the young men and women in Jamaica. That's why they're going out of their way to do some terrible things. Stop sending them the message that as soon as they don't have life cozy and comfortable, that is the end of the world. This is why a lot of young men and young women in Jamaica are doing some terrible things, because they want it and they want it now. There are many people with the comforts of their home, with, savings and career and whatever. They had to go through it. But now we feel that we must run out and deliver people and put them in a place overnight. That takes away their ability and their ambition to do for themselves. So in closing this video, I'm going to say that I'm very happy that the family got the support they have. But I need you all to stop making it seem like having an outside kitchen or toilet, or, being in a situation where, you don't have fancy gadgets is the end of the world. It's not. We need some of these experiences, because if you look at it, even in foreign countries with kids who get everything, they're often very spoiled and they're often not very ambitious. the ones who saw their mom struggling and holding the fort down and not surrendering to the hardship in their life, their children do much better. And we don't want to just run in and answer everybody's or solve everybody's problems. We just want to teach them, to give them some assistance so that they can help themselves. Okay? So while I'm happy that Delano and his family got help, I'm just laughing when I see people acting as if they don't have the power to pull themselves up by their own strap and to do for themselves going forward. We don't need to take them on. Stop referring to people as charity case, because when you do that, you're not thinking that these people have agency. You're not thinking that these human beings must go out and by the sweat of their brow they shall eat bread. So, though they lack some essential things, I acknowledge that. They've gotten that. But stop with the rubbish. Spread the wealth. Help other people to help themselves. Because when you ruin their life with all the free thing and create a mindset that says everything is free, or I'm expecting that people are going to sort out my life and fix everything for me, what you're creating is monsters. And usually these persons cannot come back to say thank you. They don't know what it's like to say thank you, because guess what? You took away their opportunity to give thanks to the Most High. And many persons who are contributing are doing so with ulterior motive. And you say, well, who cares if they have ulterior motive when someone is getting help? But at the end of the day, like I said, you want to give person the ability to help themselves, create an opportunity for folks to go out there with your support and do better. I wish Delano and his family, all the best in the world. And I hope the young man continue to excel. And I hope that the same situation does not reach him that reached Joseph, where he became so complacent, so comfortable that he stopped pushing himself to excellence. That's not to say that he's not doing great now. I'm just saying a lot of things that came out in the media, some of it is not true, I know. But I think the drive and the goal and the ambition that was there originally, a lot of that got sidetracked because of all the support. And you must remember that nowadays young people have these feelings of entitlement. Not just young people, people on a whole have a sense of entitlement. And once you get them accustomed to just, stretching their hand out and collecting money that they didn't earn, they didn't work for, all of a sudden they change focus. And you don't want to be a part of that. Stay blessed, everyone.